Hey ho! Let's go. Thank you for joining us again this week as Mike and I talk Hall of Fame ballots with hot stove update mixed in. But as we always do, we begin by asking you the question, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? You are looking live, no overlay tonight for this reason. Our split studios, this is Fantasy Baseball Now, episode 67 or 67.
Don't do it.
For our show, part of the ball9.com podcast network. Come on, do it one time with me. 67. I got to practice my kids.
As Val Kilmer would say in Tombstone, I will not be a party to that, sir.
6-7. What's the over under on that? 67?
We better bet the under. You're going to have to find a way to fill 3.5 hours while I drive from Philadelphia to Latham to beat the shit out of you. Live
on TV.
Yeah, whatever gets viewers.
Whatever it takes.
How's
things?
Things are good. Things are better for me than they are for the Mets, so that's all good.
Are they celebrating the win over the Raiders out in Philly?
No.
And those dumbass pundits on ESPN and CBS picking the Raiders to win the game. I'm like, are you serious?
No, they're not celebrating. It's calm right now, but we get to deal with a 5:00 Saturday game.
No, good times.
Yeah. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. Against the up and coming, against Marcus Mariota.
Anyhow, baseball. Been a busy week since we were last year.
Yeah, the Mets fixed their Pete Alonso problem. Good for them. Solved their entire lineup issue by signing Kristen Pash to a minor contract.
That'll do it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. There's been a ton of transactions, right? There's been a lot. There's been a lot. Starting with Robert Suarez going to the Braves and apparently not to close.
It's interesting why he would do that.
It's very interesting. It's even more interesting from a fantasy standpoint. It's very interesting. So Alonso signs. That really sent a little bit of a ripple for sure. Suarez sends a little bit of a ripple.
Diaz
definitely sends a ripple. I mean, Diaz goes to at worst closer 2. I mean, I think the Padres are going to suck. So I don't see, as great as Mason Miller is, he's probably closer 1, but
I think they're going to trade him, as crazy as that sounds.
Munoz might be 1 because the Mariners will still be good, but the Dodgers are going to be great, and he's going to get a ton of save opportunities. A ton. I mean, Tyler Rogers to the Blue Jays is a nice signing. The Pirates signing Gregory Soto. Good luck with that.
Hey, man, Ben Cherington working his magic.
Ha-Seong Kim back to the Braves. That's actually an intriguing.
Here's why that's intriguing.
That's an intriguing signing.
Here's why it's intriguing. He got $20 million.
Yeah, he got a lot.
That's a lot of money.
He had a good year for them. When he finally started playing, he fixed shortstop for them. I don't, a 15-team league, he's probably still not Oh, Robert, he's probably still not picked, but in a league that's got a middle infielder, that's interesting. Adolis Garcia and his giant fucking kazoo like head signed with the Phillies yesterday.
Jimbo,
So
thanks for the update.
I mean, I would rather have Adolis Garcia than Nicholas Castellanos any day. He's. It wasn't all that long ago that Adolis Garcia was a top 40 player.
Yeah, until he forgot how to hit.
Till he forgot how to hit. I mean, Steven Matz to the Rays, who cares? Jason Foley to the Giants, that was today. After, I mean, Kenley Jansen to the Tigers after they signed Finnegan. So now they've got Vest Finnegan and Kenley Jansen in that bullpen. Man.
It's a good. They're not trading Skubal. They wouldn't be doing all that if they were going to move him.
I would like to believe they're not trading Skubal. I would like to believe it. But I also feel as if they get a massive offer with a couple of major league ready pitchers that are controllable. They might have already read the tea leaves on how much it's going to cost to try to sign him. And there's no reason why they won't be in the pennant race when the trade deadline comes. I mean, if it goes off the rails when the trade deadline comes, it's probably going to be because he got hurt and then they can't trade him.
Yeah.
So I think for the good of the game, I hope they keep him. And I hope they sign him.
Yeah, so do I.
I hope they sign him. I don't think they're going to, but I think that I would like to believe that they see the value in having somebody like that on their roster. But look, you'd think the Pirates would see the value in having Skeens on their roster and Gregory Soto. I mean, the other signing that's like a low key one to keep for me to keep my eye on is Josh Bell to the Twins. He had a pretty decent year last year.
That was interesting to me because I wondered why they did that.
That's a great question.
Because are they going to rebuild or are they not going to rebuild? Do they even know? And you have to know the answer to that question.
Well, the answer is they don't know, because if they knew, Joe Ryan would have been traded last year at the deadline, right?
Yeah.
Or there would be a hell of a lot more noise coming out of Ryan and Lopez and even potentially Buxton than there is right now. It's very, very quiet there. I mean, maybe they look at the rest of the division and they're like, we catch a break here, we catch a break there. When they have no bullpen, they traded their entire bullpen away last year.
Yep.
That needs to be fixed. Their offense is young and pretty good if it's healthy. They have two really good starting pitchers and Bradley Ober. So they have Bailey Ober. So they have three pretty good starters, two really good starters and one good starter. I mean, it's not like they don't have the makeup of a half decent team. It's just, I mean, the ownership issue is a real problem there.
Yeah.
They were going to sell. They're not going to sell. Same thing in Washington. Same thing. Fleecing baseball and the fans. Make a move here, make a move there, make people think that you're actually paying attention and want to win. And then, just go trade your best players for futures, which might not be the future, might be 2028. I think if it was me, if I owned a team, I'd be all in for this year.
Sure.
I'd go all in, and then I'd worry about 20. Then I'd worry about 27 if there is one in
You know,
2020.
trade I liked. You haven't gotten to. I like Isaac Collins to Kansas City.
This is why I don't like Isaac Collins to Kansas City. I like that. From a baseball standpoint, I like that trade for both teams. Zerpa throws crazy hard. He'll be a good bullpen guy for Milwaukee. Collins, there's really no place for him to play, and he'll play a little bit of everywhere. A little. Now that Miguel Garcia just got a contract extension, so he's in at third. They can play Collins all over the place. What I don't like about it is they still haven't addressed the number one issue that they have, which is they don't have any power in their lineup outside of what they get from Pasquantino and Sal Perez. They don't have an outfield bat that scares anybody. I mean, unless Cangiolone all of a sudden becomes the prospect that everybody hopes he's going to be out there, and he becomes a right fielder with power. But there wasn't a hell of a lot of evidence to say that was going to happen last year.
I think he will. I'm still really high on him. He let me.
Yeah, I am too.
But
they're not that far away. Like they're close.
No.
They're close to. They're better than Cleveland, though that didn't bear itself out last year. They're not that far away from Detroit. I mean, they catch everything. They don't kill themselves in the field. They have the best shortstop in baseball and one of the faces of the game in the middle of their infield. And they usually don't waste guys like that. They usually don't waste them. They usually, historically, they have somebody like that. They find a way to try to get competitive quick. Their pitching staff's solid. Their bullpen's good. They're a good, solid team. I mean, they're not the Dodgers, but for that division, they're a good team. But they don't have any power. They just don't have any power. And one of the Nick Castellanos rumors is him going there. They don't want that.
No.
You don't want that guy. I'm just telling you. He'd be a good Giant. He'd be a good Giant. And Ketel Marte announced his no trade clause list today.
Yes.
5 teams.
Why wouldn't he want to go to Oakland or Sacramento, wherever the fuck they play? I can't get that. I don't get that.
Why wouldn't he want to go to New York or Boston?
Maybe he doesn't want the media.
Like, why wouldn't he want to go to, I mean, I get the Pittsburgh thing. They're not going to make an offer for him anyway for what they want. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, they did re-sign Merrill Kelly.
True.
That's got a little fantasy implication to it. I mean, he's not your, I mean, you got 7 starters and you're scratching for a 6th or 7th starter. Most of the time you can do worse than him. He doesn't strike anybody out, but he doesn't really put a lot of base runners on either.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, last year when he had base runners on, they scored. But in the projected haul they want for him, they want so much for him. I just don't believe he's going to be traded. I don't think anybody's going to meet the demand. It is a fun time of year to see projected trades on the app formerly known as Twitter.
I still go on Twitter.
Under the guise of who says no to these trades, and then I see these trades and I'm like, Arizona? Arizona says no. Arizona says no.
What do you have a pipeline into the Bronx? When is somebody going to wake up that front office? I have to ask. I put it in the promo feed.
It's cold. It's cold out. They're huddled around like they're filling stockings with the 40-man roster right now. They're too busy sending out Christmas cards with Spencer Jones' picture on it and Jason Dominguez, telling the rest of the league that these are the 2 best up-and-coming players since Mantle came up in the 60s, the 50s, trying to get somebody to bite to take them and then not trade them because They're not getting back Bob Gibson. Good God. Good God. It's very, very quiet. I do feel like where there's smoke, there's fire with Kyle Tucker. I do feel like that's like they'll be super quiet and then they'll make some boom unless they trade Jazz, which is maybe that's what they're spending all their time on right now.
What would be the end game? You just trying to free up salary?
There is no end game. What would be the end game? Is this show from 2001? How the fuck do I know? There's no end game. What's the end game? Piss everybody off, piss every fan off, and how you make these fringy bullshit moves and you don't really go for it to try to really make a statement as the New York Yankees to win.
Yeah, but the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement is healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah, they're making money. I mean, they're making money. Ticket prices are going up.
Sure.
Concessions going up.
Why would you put that onto the field?
Payroll's going down. And they got a bunch of money coming off next year too. So
it's perfect for Hal.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They need to do something in the rotation, and they need to do it soon. I mean, none of the Asian players that are posted have signed.
Yeah.
And I mean, Murakami's got 6 days. If he's not signed by December 22nd, he's not posted anymore.
Wow.
So that's coming up. The rest of the guys are like January 5th. Like there's barely any conversation about interest in any of those guys. Like it's just way too quiet. When Sasaki came, there was stuff all the time. When Yamamoto came, there was stuff all the time. He was on tour. It's all you heard about is where he might sign. These 4 guys, you don't hear anything. Not a single thing. And they're all going to get in the majors and they're all going to contribute. So I don't know what that befuddles me, especially when you got, the guy they're calling the Babe Ruth of Japan.
Yeah.
With 6 days left in posting and he's nowhere. I mean, he went below ADP in our head-to-head league that I did last Thursday, the draft that I did last Thursday. But all 4 of them went. They were all drafted. So and now we're rolling into either stuff's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 days, or we're not going to hear a peep until January 1st.
Wow.
Right? I mean, you got the company holiday party.
Got to have that.
Hal sits around and tells stories of yesteryear. The Grinch who stole baseball.
Tell us about that draft. Fill me in on that.
So interesting, right? Very early head-to-head draft. It was a very early head-to-head draft. And I got the 3rd pick, and I regretted the pick as soon as I made it. So Judge was 1, Ohtani was 2. I took Soto with 3. Jose Ramirez was 4, Witt 5, Corbin Carroll 6, Skubal was 7, Acuna was 8, Gunnar Henderson 9, Kyle Tucker, Lindor, and Crochet was 12.
Acuna was 8?
Yeah, Acuna was 8. Well, look at Acuna head-to-head. I get it. I get why.
He's not going to run anymore.
And then round 2 was Schwarber, which was earlier than everybody in the draft room except for 2 people thought he was going to go. Then Skeens, then Cal Raleigh, then Kurtz, then Vladdy, and then Julio Rodriguez. And I don't get To me, Rodriguez should have went before Tucker. Freeman, Ellie Dela Cruz didn't go until 20.
Freeman?
Freddie Freeman was 19.
Was that guy in a bar for 6 hours or
Your
gal 6 hours, 8 hours before the draft started?
And then Marte was 21, and then I took Pete Alonso at 22. And I would have taken Tatis. I would have taken Tatis had Alonso gone. Tatis went right after me, and then Caminero was 24. A little surprised at DeGrom at the top of the third round. That's pick 2 of the third round. And then for some reason, I'm in love with Trey Turner, so I've taken him twice in these draft formats.
Hey, in the spirit of the show, who was pick 6-7?
Pick 6. God, you're an asshole. Picks. That was C.J. Abrams.
Okay.
Who went right after Vinny Pasquantino, believe it or not, and right ahead of Gino Suarez. And how do you draft Gino Suarez when you don't even know where he's going to play? I did get Jackson Merrill. And then I needed a pitcher, and I took Andrew Abbott because all of a sudden there was a run on pitchers. But it was really interesting. It was very interesting to look at. It was most of the same guys that did it was most of the same group that did the draft when we did the Roto draft.
Yeah.
So it was most of those same guys. And it was interesting. It was very interesting to see some guys just wait for pitching and devalue pitching. I mean, the closer run didn't start until round. The closer run didn't start until round.
That's a good draft if you
9?
can't find it. Round 9? Yeah, it's about right.
Is that right? And when did
if you're in a head-to-head league, do you just not draft closers? Pitchers or pitchers?
Round 10. Mason Miller at 112, Diaz at 116, Duran at 123, Munoz at 127, Cade Smith at 134, Hader at 139. So there was a little run, and then it stopped.
Closers are so volatile in a head-to-head league. Why not just take starters?
Well,
you get points. Just get points.
Right. So when Ted last week when he showed us his NFBC, talked about his NFBC team, he didn't take any.
Correct.
So there is a thought process in head-to-head of taking setup guys instead of closers.
Yes.
Because you get them, you'll likely get more innings and even potentially more outings out of them in head-to-head. So that's an interesting thought process. It'll be as this goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on, and as we get closer to the season and we start learning about people, it'll be and start looking at other mock drafts. It'll be interesting to see like that, and and now that we're paying a little more attention on top of that, how guys construct their lineup in head-to-head, and then what success they have as a result of like, hey, I'm just not going to draft any closers. Fuck it.
Yep.
I mean, 7 points for a save. I'd rather get, instead of getting 14 save points, which might end up being none in a week, I'd rather get, even in a losing streak, middle relief guys are pitching, right? And setup guys are pitching, even when they're
Correct.
In a losing streak. Do I look at guys that had 70 games, 60 games last year, and are going to pitch a third of the season versus do I take a guy that's going to get 30 saves and only pitch 35 times and pitch a total of maybe not even 40 innings? When that 60 outing guy might pitch 75 innings.
Yep.
And might get 90 strikeouts. It's a pretty interesting thought process. I mean, holds don't count for points in this league, so that's an irrelevant thing. But in the draft I'll be doing in early March, the National League only draft, holds are points.
Yeah. Our head-to-head league holds your points, right?
Head-to-head league holds your points.
I'm pretty sure it is.
We better get on that one too and see if there's interest in see who's got interest in returning and who doesn't and what that looks like.
I think we'll be okay.
So since it's a slow week and because after this week we're off for 2 weeks, we decided to do the Hall of Fame.
I'm going dark for 1 second here. Keep talking. Yeah. I'm with you.
So we're gonna do a recap of the contemporary era voting, and we'll talk about that and the prospects of some of these guys never getting in, and then we'll look at the ballot for 2026 and we'll make our selections, because when we roll back on January 7th or 6th, depending on what we decide after the holidays for the night that we're doing this, if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll start doing position rankings, starting with catcher and first base, the first show back after the new year. So with not a million transactions and nothing that's really moved the needle, it's a good time. It's a good time to talk about this. I will tell you, before I say what I'm about to say, Jeff Kent should have never been on this ballot. Jeff Kent should already be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
To see him get 14 out of 16 votes was as unsurprising a thing as ever. I was not surprised by that at all. I'm disappointed more so. I mean, pick any of the three, Delgado, Mattingly, or Murphy.
I think they all should have been in. They all should be in the Hall of Fame. I know you only have so many votes in this format, but they should all be in the Hall of Fame.
Right. But I think what was more telling in this vote than Delgado getting 9, which is pretty telling since he was barely on the regular ballot, and Mattingly and Murphy only getting 6, which tells you that the shortness of their careers does have an impact on how they're viewed as Hall of Famers.
Hey, by the way, a plug for Ball 9. Kevin Kiernan wrote a big thing on Mattingly in the Hall of Fame. It's about a 5-minute read. It's worth the time.
It's definitely worth your time. I mean, I never saw Fernando Valenzuela as a Hall of Famer. He was a great story, and he was really good. But
yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, but the fact that not so much Sheffield, because there's a little gray with him, that Bonds and Clemens only got 5 votes from this group.
Yeah.
It tells me they're never getting in.
No.
They're never getting in.
They are not.
They're never getting in until the Hall says we want them in. They need to be in, and they need to have their own, the steroid wing or whatever. The fact that could be at the front of it when you walk in is Bud Selig.
Here's their problem. And I've said this before. In the NFL, nobody cares if a guy had served a four-game suspension for PEDs. They don't give a shit. Rodney Harrison, right? Perfect
Right.
example. The guy's on
Yep.
network TV. But baseball's different because baseball holds historical value on its numbers. That's what makes baseball different than the other sports. Who's the all-time touchdown leader in one season, most touchdown passes? I don't even know.
Right.
Right? But you know all the numbers in baseball, and that's why baseball is so revered. That's why it matters. I'm not saying it's right, but that's why it matters because baseball historically looks at the number. What's the home run number?
Yeah,
The RBI,
the
whatever.
counting stats are the definition of Hall of Fame. Right? The counting stats are what define players as Hall of Famers. And if there's perception or reality that players cheated to get those counting stats, then they're not getting in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I put them all in. I put them all in. Like, can you tell the story of Major League Baseball without talking about Barry Bonds? No. Or Roger Clemens. You can't. You can't talk about the history of the game and not talk about those guys. You could talk about the history of the game and never mention Carlos Delgado, Don Mattingly, or Dale Murphy, or Jeff Kent for that matter. You could not talk about Jeff Kent. I mean, clearly nobody did for a long time, but I mean, Jeff Kent was a great player.
He was.
But if you asked anybody that's like any baseball fans who the top 5 second basemen in the history of the game are, you'd be hard pressed for somebody to say his name. There might be Hornsby's going to be 1, Morgan's going to probably be 2, and there's a ton of other guys. Eddie Collins, there's guys from the 20s and 30s that are going to come up before you get to Kent because Kent wasn't media accessible. Kent just kind of played baseball and did his thing.
Yeah, he was surly, and that's a problem.
Well, clearly.
That's a problem.
Clearly.
People don't like that.
No. But it's hard to, I mean, it's easy to call out the baseball writers, and I've already seen, we'll get to the main ballot because I've already seen some fucking ballots from some of these assholes that get a vote. You got to be kidding me. Like, I'm not voting for anybody except for David Wright. Good. Vote for David Wright. He's not a Hall of Famer.
He's not.
If David Wright's a Hall of Famer, Mattingly's a Hall of Famer, Tony Conigliero's a Hall of Famer. Give me a break with David Wright as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you got to build a whole new wing for another 100 guys for David Wright. No offense to David Wright, he was hurt all the time.
Really good player, great Met, all-time great Met. I mean, there wasn't a third baseman in the history of the Mets until David that was worth even discussing until he came. So yeah, easily the greatest third baseman in Met history. It's not even close. Ed Charles. I mean, it's not even close. But so we will jump as this is the ballot. I have seen some really interesting stat comparisons, and I have wavered a little bit in my feelings about 2 players in particular. They just happen to be in Philadelphia. They just happen to play most of their career, if not all their career, in Philadelphia. And that's Rollins and Utley. I mean, is this the year Andrew Jones finally gets in the Hall of Fame?
I circled his picture when I sent you my stuff.
Well, we're going to go to yours.
The story with Andrew Jones that's not told and not appreciated enough. I'll give you a second to put that up. His defense was off the charts good.
Oh, he's arguably one of the 5 greatest center fielders that ever lived.
Absolutely.
From a defensive standpoint.
You've talked me into Abreu the last couple of years.
Bobby Abreu there are 20 Hall of Famers that you could match up stat for stat with Bobby Abreu, and he's right there with every single one of them.
Here, I don't know if I think Beltran should be a Hall of Famer. I think he'll get in this year.
I do too, but I do too. But he is attached to the cheating scandal in Houston.
He is, but that wasn't as a player, right?
You're still cheating a game.
Yeah,
they're still talking about it.
Well, that's going to keep Altuve out.
They're still talking about it.
I think they'll get by
the players are still talking about it. The players are still talking about it. The players aren't bitching about Bonds and Clemens and Manny Ramirez and A-Rod. They're not complaining about that. Those guys got caught or didn't get caught. They've already been tried in a court of public opinion. The players are still bitching about the Astros cheating scandal. Still.
The tough one for me was I was looking at Utley and Rollins, not knowing you were going to talk about them. I circled Utley, not Rollins, although I'm not sure. The hardest part I have with that, I've always lived by this thought process. If I can't say yes, if you ask me if someone's a Hall of Famer, if I can't say yes in 5 seconds, the answer is no. Then I'm like, well, obviously that is not the tell-all. You got to dive a little bit into some stats.
Right.
I think the harder part as you get older, when you're younger, like when you and I are growing up watching baseball, you revered these guys. They were your heroes.
Yeah.
They were up, Reggie Jackson. I mean, they blow you away. They can walk down the street, you stop. Now I think as you get older, you start to judge people a little harsher. And you don't put them up on a pedestal like you did when you're younger. And that I think is the problem I have with judging some of these more contemporary guys.
Well, you go plus you don't have recency bias, right? Where you don't have seeing Utley every day, and every day you see him play, his uniform's dirty, he's doing something to cause some winning effort every single day. Now you're just looking at pure numbers compared to other players that are already in. I mean, the Pedroia Utley comparison it's scary. It's scary because I have Utley circled as well, but I also have Pettit and I have Mark Burley.
Mark Burley, I find that interesting.
I do not have Beltran under the same statement as why I wouldn't have. So this is going to sound a little bit hypocritical because I would vote for Bonds and Clemens because they never failed a test in Major League Baseball. I wouldn't vote for Ramirez or A-Rod under any circumstance.
Yep.
Like the rules were already in place and then they knowingly broke the rules. Like the rules were in place, they broke the rules. I mean, is changing the outcome of a game by cheating during the game any different than betting on baseball? Honestly, I do think probably more of a statement by me, or possibly I forgot to circle Beltran because I was rushing to do this. There is that as well. But if you look at Burley's numbers, if you look at Burley, Hamels, and Pettit, and you put the three of them side by side, they don't really stand out for anything specifically. But Burley had a better career to me than Hamels. And Pettit's postseason speaks for itself. Yet Pettit also failed the test.
Yes.
It's a dicey. I mean, it's a dicey thing because I'm not sure Pettit will ever get in because of that.
I don't know if he belongs in. I'm just not so sure.
Well,
never blew you.
He's got 256 wins.
Okay.
And a 3.85 ERA. He has 2,448 strikeouts. So he's almost at 2,500 strikeouts. But he's got 19 playoff wins and a 3.81 ERA in his playoff career. And he's 5-4 in the World Series. He was 13-6 in the playoffs for the Yankees. That's pretty good.
I don't know. I look at Pettit and he's a just miss for me.
Yeah, I look at and Burley's 214 wins and a 3.81 ERA. And a perfect game on his resume. And he was only in the playoffs once. So I mean, it's not his fault he pitched for the White Sox for most of his career. I mean, it's not his fault. But Hamels only has 163 wins.
He's not going to get in. I look at this list.
I mean, Hamels has 163 wins, but he also has. I mean, the 4 years with Texas, the 2 with Chicago, and the 1 start he had with Atlanta. Like, it's 10 years with the Phillies. That's really what it is. But he's got 2,600 strikeouts. So he struck out far more than either one of those other 2 guys.
There's people that throw a lot of love at Torrey Hunter too.
Well, he was another elite defensive center fielder. They do throw a lot of love at Torrey Hunter, but at any point in time, whenever you watch Torrey Hunter, was he the best player on his team? In fact, were any of these guys the best player on their team?
No, I don't.
Besides Ryan Braun?
No.
And his information to fill out his information to get in the Hall of Fame was intercepted by a FedEx driver.
Yeah, no shit.
So that's
hopefully it was the same guy that he ruined his life when he threw him.
King Felix was the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. And it wasn't even really close for like a 5-year stretch. But he's going to suffer from the same thing as the other. Like, his career's just not long enough.
It's not. Took a long, hard look at him last year and said no.
I mean, he won 160 games. He never won 20. He wasn't on great teams.
What's the new number in today's game? You say he never won 20, and that matters. What's the new number?
It's probably 15, right?
15?
I mean, I don't know. You got guys getting pretty close to 20 now. I know wins don't matter. I mean, or the nerds would tell you wins don't matter from a pitching standpoint. They still matter to those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they still matter. I mean, starting pitchers, with the exception of George Kirby, want to finish what they start.
Hey, 90 pitches is a lot.
Oh man, that's a tough day at the office, isn't it?
Once a week. That's a lot.
I mean, yeah. You don't want to strain yourself.
No.
You don't want to. You definitely don't want to miss a start. That would be awful because with the 5 days off between starts, how are you going to recover?
You got golf to play.
You definitely have. You definitely have golf to play. You got a lot going on. But I was just trying to look up. Well, I am going to take a shot at CBS Sports. When you go to the CBS Sports website and you go look for stats, because that's the quickest, easiest place for me to get them. And it's postseason stats. Like we just don't care. We just don't care. I mean, Peralta 117, Rodon 118, Crochet 118, Fried 119. So, I mean, you do have guys creeping up on 20 wins.
Yeah.
To you and I, probably 20 wins is still the number. To the rest of the world, it's probably 15. Right? It's probably 15 is the number. Because there were, I mean, Luzardo, Webb, Wu at 15, Gray at 14, Boyd at 14, Mize at 14. Brady Singer won 14 games last year. Holy crap. Holy crap. Really? But Christopher Sanchez was 13-5. He was a unanimous selection as second in Cy Young Award win.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they're not looking at they're not. So clearly they're not. I mean, Skubal won 13. They're not looking at wins. They're looking at overall body of work now. So has it gone? Has it switched more to WHIP and ERA and Ks per 9? Is that what pitchers are measured on now? It'll be interesting. That ballot comes up in 2036, and they say that a pitcher had 4 complete games in his career. I mean, that was a week's work in 1907, and that was 2 weeks' work in 1967. And now complete games are like seeing a unicorn.
Yeah. Hey, you brought up Utley and Rollins. Why one and not the other?
It's probably more what my eyes showed me when they were playing than what the stats would tell you. Rollins probably has a better case than Utley, to be honest with you. Because of the position and the offensive productivity, he probably has a better case. Utley always appeared to me as a more complete baseball player. Always. That's why I think the argument between Pedroia and Utley is not as far apart as everybody would like to say. I mean, if you're a Red Sox fan, God help you if you are, and I don't understand why you would be, but if you are a Red Sox fan, you're definitely going to say Pedroia was better than Utley. And objectively, it's kind of hard to tell you you're wrong. The likelihood is neither of them are going to get in. I don't know why. My gut tells me Andrew Jones and Bobby Abreu, and that's it. Unless something really strange happens in Beltran, and maybe Beltran, but this should be the year for Andrew. This better be the year for Andrew Jones.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you get a light year for first-time eligible players this year. I don't know if Braun was always clean, if he would have even he may have, but next year, it doesn't. Here we go. The next 5 Hall of Fame ballots. 27 first-time candidates are Posey and Lester. Posey will probably get in.
Posey will get in.
And Jay Bruce, Brett Gardner, Kyle Seager, Ryan Zimmerman, Jordan Zimmerman. No. Next year's Andrew Jones' final year. 2028, it's Albert Pujols and Yadi Molina.
Yep.
If Albert Pujols is not unanimous, then people are making shit up. They're making stuff up. They're making up things that he did what he didn't and what he never did. I don't believe Yadi's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it's very likely that he is going to be. Robinson Cano is also in that group in 28. And if Robinson Cano wasn't a rockhead, Robinson Cano would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer and arguably one of the top 2 or 3 offensive second basemen in the history of Major League Baseball. But
true.
But he was medically enhanced. 29, you got Miggy, should be a unanimous Hall of Famer. Zach Greinke, great. That's going to be a great conversation, right? A great conversation. And Joey Votto, which is also going to be a pretty good conversation. Some would tell you Votto's an automatic. I'm not that sure.
I don't know about automatic, but I could see it.
And then 30 is Anthony Rizzo and JD Martinez, and I don't believe I don't believe either of them.
Yeah.
And 31 is Clayton Kershaw. And that's another should be a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Should be.
So there's room if these guys don't fall off the ballot. There's room for some of these guys.
Yeah.
There's room for some of these guys to find a way in, but there's also the possibility that these guys are going to languish on the ballot and people are like, look, I didn't vote for him for 8 years. I'm not voting for him now just because I have to vote for somebody.
Yeah.
Which is also part of the conundrum and enigma that this process is that guys will go 7 or 8 years. They hold steady at a certain percentage. Then the ballot gets light, like it appears to be this year. And all of a sudden, guys get this crazy amount of love. Well, you didn't give them love for 8 years. Why all of a sudden now are they a Hall of Famer too?
I know. I agree with that. They didn't do anything to change. They didn't come out. They're not Philip Rivers.
Like consistently, I've thought Andrew Jones and Bobby Abreu were Hall of Famers since they came on the ballot.
Yeah.
So that would never change my mind. But next year, I'm not going to all of a sudden make a giant push for. I mean, I think Beltran's a Hall of Famer. So there's 3 on this ballot that are probably the 3 that should be in. And I'm not, the rest of them are kind of like, you got to make a real strong case. And if you're making a real strong case and you're still hedging on the real strong case, like, are we just putting guys in to put guys in because we're not putting other guys in that should be in because they cheated or they perceivably cheated, as opposed to the guys that cheated that never got caught that are already in, or the one loudmouth that did get caught yet he's still in? That's Big Papi for you Red Sox fans, in case you're wondering who I'm talking about.
Take a bow.
I will take it. Thank you. That was good work by me.
All right.
But it's going to be interesting. And who we didn't mention, which also comes with some history, is that Joe Buck is getting in under the Ford Frick Award, and he will join his father and the broadcasters wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool.
I like Joe Buck. A lot of people don't, but I do.
I like Joe Buck more now than I did 5 years ago, because sometimes less is more. Right? Like Mike Tirico's on everything for NBC right now. And I really like Mike Tirico, but now I'm starting not to like. But now I'm starting to not like him.
I don't like his voice.
He's doing everything.
I just don't like his voice.
He's doing everything. He's
Mike
doing the
Tirico.
Olympics. He's doing basketball. He's doing Sunday
Let's
night
go off on a
football.
tangent. Mike Tirico is unlistenable for me. Him and Kevin Harlan are just
Kevin Harlan.
I can't deal with it.
Kevin Harlan and Gus Johnson, every single play that they ever call is the most important play in the history of the sport that they're calling.
Yeah, I can't deal
Like a
with
3-yard run for a first down with 1:30 left in the first quarter is not Barry Sanders running 45 yards to get 2. It's not. Nope. Please stop. I mean, a kid catching a touchdown pass for an undefeated college football team against an 0-8 team to put them up 61-0 is not that big of a deal, Gus Johnson. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's really not. The bigger deal is what's he still doing in the game. That's the bigger deal. Like, yeah, I just like the hyperbole of hyperboles. But when Joe Buck was on everything, it was a little tiring. I was a little tired of Joe Buck.
Yeah.
But now that we don't get to see him that much, now I appreciate him more. And then especially, and this is no disrespect to people that have followed him in their roles, like the guys that have followed him at Fox aren't as good. They're just not as good. I mean, they're just not. I mean, they're just not as good. Baseball's not as good without him covering it there. Football's not as good without him covering it there.
Correct.
So he deserves it. He had a really he I mean, he did the Cardinals with his dad, which is awesome. I'm sure it'll be a very emotional speech for him to reference that he's going in with his dad. I think that'll be great. I can't wait to see Kent's speech. Holy cow. Be better off watching my grass grow. That's about how interesting that's going to be. He's not an interesting guy. Though I do have a great Jeff Kent story. So when I first moved down here, me and the big man from Massachusetts attended a Phillies game at Veterans Stadium, like a random end of April game. And if there were 3,500 people there, they were lying. There was nobody there. And we were maybe 8 or 10 rows off first base in the lower level. And the night before, Jeff Kent tried to steal third base, and somebody hit him right in the cup on the throw to third.
Nice.
And he was down for a while, and it was all over at that time when SportsCenter. It was when SportsCenter mattered. I do not know what best ball baseball.
I don't know what that is, but
I'm willing to
enlighten us.
And he walked, and he's standing on first base. And I said, probably talking at about this level of voice to the big man, did you see when Kent got hit last night? That looked like it hurt like hell. And we're talking in just regular conversational voices. And Kent turned around at first base and looked at me, and he goes, that hurt like a motherfucker. he heard me loud and clear.
Nice.
And I thought it was and he smiled when he said it, but like it was really funny. It was really funny. Three infielders, 3 outfielders, 3 pitchers each week. That's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting concept.
3 pitchers. You starting now.
Oh, you'd be screwed.
Why would I be screwed?
Because your best 11 would be on your bench every week.
Maybe. Says the guy who's not involved in any fantasy football playoffs any longer.
I'm in one.
I thought you were out.
No, I'm in the Yahoo League.
Oh.
I'm beating all the former pitchers. It's automatic who starts. That's interesting. Man, I already ran down I already
No
lived in
roster
the
management
rabbit
is
hole.
key
I
for
already
me.
lived in the rabbit hole of gladiator leagues for a week trying to figure out what draft I was going to do to get in a $50 gladiator on NFBC. And now I got to dig into this too.
I like the no roster management. I'm great at drafting. I just don't know what the hell to do with it after I'm done.
You're what?
I'm awesome at drafting.
Are you all right?
No, I'm actually under the weather just a little
Yeah,
bit.
I would say you are. I would say you have a perception. You have a perception of your draft capabilities that 11 other owners would vehemently disagree with.
You could call it delusional. That's okay.
You could call it delusional.
Been called worse.
Yeah,
Much
yeah.
worse.
Yeah, you have. In your own house.
Much worse. Yeah, in the own house. And by the way, if you're out there, whoever the Airbnb owner that's going to rent us his house for our draft in March, thank God my name's not on that lease.
Oof.
That's just insane. You coming up for that?
I don't know. You're asking me March questions in December.
Gotta know, man. Gotta know.
I don't have the faintest idea. I'll know when I know.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note,
I'll know the answer to that March 10th.
Okay.
Probably.
On that note, we will wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to those celebrating that this week.
Yeah, happy whatever you celebrate. Hopefully you don't get
big board draft.
Hopefully you don't get hopefully you don't get a Met pitcher in your stocking. Sean Manaea doesn't show up at your house to ruin your Christmas.
I drafted him last year. We do not do a big board draft. No, we do not. And yes, Kwanzaa as well. Thank you. Hit them all.
We would like to do the big board draft, but I don't think our league is our league is barely able to manage participating electronically, let alone to try to get 12 people to show up to do our draft live, though it would be fun.
And there's way too much beer involved to try and worry about it. Somebody will knock it over.
Hey. There's never too much beer.
I didn't say for me.
There's never too much beer.
Just know others.
There are some.
We had somebody pass out in somebody's daughter's bed one night. Just saying.
We did. Thankfully, she wasn't in it.
Thankfully, she wasn't in it. Same guy that we did put his hotel name and room number on his lapel when we poured him into the cab.
Yeah. That is true. Also, the same guy that left a trail of chicken wings for 1.5 miles to his way back to his house in case he wanted to come back to the bar so he knew how to get there.
True. Thanks to the Sports Muse channel. I'll have to
Thank
look
you so much. Thanks for participating. Happy holidays to all. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2026.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks off. We'll be back. Catchers and first baseman when we come back.
Awesome.
Time to talk about the Contrerases. Maybe one of them will be on a different team by that.
Perhaps. All right. Well, everybody, happy holidays. Enjoy. He's a Pirates fan, Mike. Or she's a Pirates. Somebody. Sports Muse Channel's a Pirates fan.
Wow.
They got to go back and rewatch some old episodes.
My daughter's a therapist, and I could probably get you a couple free Ben Cherington vent sessions if you want.
Mike is a closet Pirates fan.
Mike does like
You got to root for the Pirates. They're more active than the Yankees.
I do love the stadium.
It is good.
And my favorite letter is R. So there's the.
All right. Be good. We're out.